Welcome back to our Berlin studio. G2 start the Super Week with a win. And Targamas is with me to talk about this victory. Thank you very much for joining me, Targa. I have a first question because I got a chance to hang out with you guys on Tuesday and see how you guys train. And I learned about the concept of Mr. Clean games. So for the viewers at home, a Mr. Clean game is a game that G2 players would end without throwing or just letting a lead slip by. So do you think, Targamas, this one applies as a Mr. Clean game or not?
I think by our standards it would be. I think we had like one kind of scary moment on bot where I had like flashbacks of last week playing against Gwen Yumi, and maybe for a minute we thought that like Gwen was able to be able to 1v5 the game. But I think after that we played pretty well. We just won a fight, took Nash, and then basically ended with our Nash. So I think it's like a Mr. Clean game.
All right. Well, Dylan can be happy about this one, I hope. But can you please elaborate on G2's tendency to sometimes get carried away and have fun in times you have a lead and maybe you should close out the games sooner?
I think we just get, I don't know, maybe very excited when especially this game Caps was like really fed, so he really wanted to I don't know, make plays, like kind of test limits a bit. Like on mid he died in the game shutdown when he thought he would be safe and he would just be able to kind of outplay them. Also I think last week, when you're in enemy base before 20 minutes, you kind of have this moment where you want to, I don't know, you want to end the game with hard, you want to see the hard dance, and then you just end up throwing the game. But we kind of talk a lot about it. I think it's one of our biggest defaults that we don't take it as slow as we could. So I think we just talk a lot about it, and now we're probably gonna be more fine than before.
Yeah, well, at least it is something that you acknowledge and that you guys are working on. So hopefully for playoffs, this will be resolved. But focusing more on you, Targamas, I don't believe we had a chance to have an interview for a while. You said in an interview recently that the fact that you play a lot of support is actually not that impressive, in that according to you, most of supports should be able to play multiple champions. I want you to elaborate on that, and especially on the fact that joining G2, you quickly gained a role of someone players listen to. Given the fact that you often have the last pick, I get that you have a huge part in the team. What's your take on your development with G2 and the role you have right now with them?
Well, I think for the champion pool, as I said in the interview, I think for support it's like way easier than for the other lanes, because you don't actually have to learn any matchup. Like if you wanna play a new top laner, then you have to learn how to play the champ against every matchup. On support, it's like very similar, because for example the melee support, they often interact in the same ways. Like if you play Leona or Nautilus, then the lane is always going to be like somewhat similar, and I think that's like the main reason. Like the matchups are just easier to play than on solo lanes. And for the role I play in the team, I think I don't know. I think I just came in and the team just trusts me to always find a good solution for the draft. It's something that I was like known for in K-Corp last year, to be able to pick later in the draft and kind of like a pick that's always going to be good. And I mean, G2 probably just noticed it, and when I came in the team, they just they wanted to replicate the same role as I had in K-Corp in that sense.
Yeah.
So they just trust me for my picks, and they just trust me to always have like a good champion for the game.
It is really cool that you managed to bring what you were doing with K-Corp in the LEC. Most often than not, players are not able to do so. We'll see how it develops, and if you can bring some new picks in the LEC for playoffs. But that's all for us now. Merci beaucoup, Targu, for the interview. And for more on this game, let's send it over to Shox.